Good morning, everybody. Coach Lori here from One Life Coaching and Wellness, coming to you live once again. Wanted to come to you live. I asked some questions in our group of what you guys are wanting to see from me, and one of them was weight training. One of them was talking about weightlifting, talking about rep sets, talking about why we need to be weight training. So I wanted to come live to you guys and kind of explain some tips, some tutorials, some things to where I want you strength training, because we need to be strength training. We can get all of the cardio in the world, and that is great for our heart and great for our bodies, but we really need to add that strength training portion. So I want to help you. I want to give you some tips. If you guys have questions along the way, make sure that you put them down below in the comment section, and I will answer them as we go, and I will stay on as long as we need to answer those questions. So don't feel bad if you have a question and the tutorial is over. Feel free to keep asking. I will stay on as long as you guys need to answer questions and keep you going strong here, okay? No pun intended. All right, guys, so we are going to start off. There are tips, and I want you to write these things down. If you have a pen and paper, if you don't, just try to remember. But there are tips that I want to give you for strength training. First tip is going to be probably the most important tip, okay? It is going to be to make sure that you are using proper form. Now, I'm going to give you some ideas of some basic moves, and I'm going to show you how to do them. But I am going to recommend that you really do focus on this first part, because if we are doing the exercises wrong, not only can we hurt ourselves, right? We can hurt ourselves. We can also, we can also not get the benefits that we're looking for. So even if you don't hurt yourself, if you're doing an exercise wrong, you're not going to get the full benefit of that exercise, of that strength training. So just know that proper form is going to be at the top of the list of all things that we need to make sure that we do, okay? There will be modifications for everything, and that's another thing. If you cannot do everything to its fullest potential, if you cannot, squat below 90 degrees, if you can't do certain things, make sure that you know the modifications for those, okay? If you don't, feel free to ask me questions, like again throughout, if you need modifications for something, or if you have any questions on any of that. What I would do if you are just kind of starting a strength training routine or getting back into strength training, I would make sure that you stick with the basics, okay? There's going to be some basic moves that are never going to go away. They are always going to be staple movements for strength training. So I'm going to show those moves, and I also want to give some options for some of you, or some modifications that can help you, like, okay, if I can't do that move, there is another option, okay? So one of the main basic moves is going to be a squat, okay? You can do this with a dumbbell, you can do this with a barbell, you can do this body weight, you can do all different types of squats, but I just want to show you the basic squat, a really good one to do, especially if you're at home and you only have dumbbells, you do not have barbells. What I like to do is a front squat. I feel like it keeps me in great alignment. So what I do is I put the weights at my shoulders, okay? And I hold them there. Shoulders are up and back, core is tight. I make sure that I have my weight in my heels. I should be able to wiggle my toes this entire time. I'm going to go down nice and low, pushing the butt back, keeping the chest high, making sure the knees don't go over the toes, and then coming back up into starting position. So I'm going to turn to the side for you guys. Shoulders up and back, once again, weight in the heels. Push the butt back into that squat, and then coming back up into that starting position. Again, there is going to be modifications for this. So if you can't get all the way down below that 90 degrees in your squat, you don't have to. Now here's the kicker though. Some people think that their knees are hurting because they're going too low in the squat. And in reality, sometimes your knees are hurting because you are not going low enough in the squat. I want you to think about, if I go to here in a squat, there is so much pressure on my knees right now, whereas opposed if I go to here. Now it's engaging the glutes, the hamstrings, and it's relieving tension on those knees. So you might be surprised if you go a little bit lower, you may not be hurting those knees, okay? But again, listen to your body, go lighter in weight. Start off with body weight and then start adding weight as you go. Then there's the deadlift, okay? So again, you can grab those barbells. Deadlift is a super tricky one, so you want to make sure that you have this one down, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to be in position. Shoulders are up and back, core tight. You want to have your feet about hip distance apart on the deadlift. We're going to go down. We're pushing the butt up to the sky, keeping the back nice and straight, and then we're coming back up into starting position. And you always want to finish it. Shoulders up, back, push the hips forward, and then go down into that deadlift, okay? One of the biggest mistakes a lot of us make on deadlifts is we think that we need to touch the ground with our hands, and we start to round the back, okay? You really want to be here, nice flat back going down into that deadlift position. So that's number 2. That's going to be number 2 of a staple move. Squats and deadlifts are going to be amazing. If you just do those for your legs, you're in good shape for a little while. You can also add a lunge onto the equation. So you can be here in position, okay, and you can do a static lunge to start. I think that is a great lunge to start with. That just means that we're staying in position for that lunge. We're going to have that front knee forward, or front foot forward, left knee back, and we're going to go down, try to kiss the ground with that back knee, and then come up to starting position. I want you to keep your body straight. We tend to lean forward on this one. You want to keep that body straight. We're going to come down and up, nice, slow, and controlled, making sure that that front knee is not going over that toe. I'm not leaning forward, all of that good stuff. Now, once again, a modification for this would be to not go quite as low, okay? But once again, that might put more pressure on those knees. So you need to kind of listen to your body and understand, is that going to add pressure? Is that going to make it harder? What is that going to do for me, okay? Then we do have chest press, okay? So this is incredibly great for the chest area. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay on the floor, or if you have a bench, you can do that. We're going to be here in position. We're going to have our feet down, knees up, lower back is on the ground. We're going to come out to the side and then come up to the center and touch. Once again, out to the side, up, center, touch. Make sure that you're using those chest muscles, so come all the way and complete that. Once again, you can go a little bit lighter, but that's going to be a real basic move kind of for that chest. Now, since you're working the chest, you want to work the opposing muscle group, right? Same thing with squats. We're working mainly quads, so we go to the deadlifts. We're going to do chest, and then we're going to go to back. So now we're going to work that opposing muscle group and go into a bent over row. Shoulders are up and back. We're going to hinge at those hips once again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then come back down. And look at how close my elbows are to my rib cage as I go down and up and squeezing those shoulder blades. Don't let the elbows come out. This is incredible for that upper back. We spend so much time throughout our day hunched over at a computer or hunched over picking up kids. We spend a lot of time, so we are stretching out those back muscles, and we are actually making the chest muscles stronger because they are engaged the whole time. So what we need to do is we really need to work those back muscles to help with posture, keeping those shoulders up and back while we're working at the computer. So it is really great to do those opposing muscle groups when we are doing strength training, okay? All right, then there's going to be the infamous bicep curl. This is another one that should be in your books, right? You're literally here coming up. Look at how close my elbows are to my rib cage. I want them to feel like they are connected to my rib cage as I go down and up. And you want to go to full extension. A lot of times we stop here because it's easier. We want to go to full extension. Have a slight bend to those knees, coming up slow and controlled. Then I love the tricep press. This is going to be a great one for your triceps. What you do is you bring the weight up and overhead. Elbows are in tight. We come down slow and controlled, and then up, top and down, just like that. Slight bend to those knees as we go. So those are going to be some great staples for you guys if you are just getting started with strength training. Even if you're not getting just started with strength training, doing those moves will be an incredible way to get a full body strength training experience, okay? Make sure we are modifying when needed, okay? If something hurts and it's non-muscular pain, right? If it's joint pain, if it's something that just doesn't feel right, we need to make sure that we check that and we modify it, because what's going to happen is it's just going to make things worse if you try to go through the pain. Now, if it's muscle fatigue and if it's muscle pain because of the exercise, then we do want to kind of push through that. You know the difference. I know you do. You know the difference between bad pain and the good kind of pain. So just make sure that you're listening to your body that entire time, and we're modifying when need to. If you have questions on modifications, those are my favorite things to do, because I love dealing with people that may have some kind of injuries that didn't think that they could work certain muscle groups, but there's different ways that we can to where you don't get injured. So make sure, if you have questions, man, I can't do lunges because of my knees, I can't do squats because of my back, different types of things, make sure you let me know, because I would love to help you figure out how you can still work the same muscle groups without getting injured, okay? Next thing is going to be, we really want to lift heavy, okay? No more dealing with 2-pound weights, 3-pound weights. I mean, if you're doing some lateral raises, we can go a little bit lighter, but if we're doing legs and we're doing chest and we're doing back and we are doing these huge muscle groups that we have, I want you going heavy, okay? If you're working out at the gym, you're going to go heavy. If you're at home, make sure that you get some either adjustable weights or you get different weights, some that are going to challenge you. You need to have that next level so you know that you're getting stronger. There is nothing more exciting about strength training than getting stronger, than saying, you know what, I was just at 15 pounds and now I'm at 20 pounds. It feels empowering, it feels awesome, and you're just getting stronger and you can see it and you can feel it. How do you know how much to lift? How do you know how heavy to go? This is one of the questions that I get so much from so many of you, is how do I know how heavy to go? So here's the thing. What I do a lot of times is I do 3 sets, okay? Your first set can be kind of like a practice set. Okay, so say we're doing, reps, 8 repetitions, okay? Your first set, you're gonna do those 8 repetitions. It's a little bit of a practice because you're figuring out, okay, am I exhausted by number 7 and number 8? If you are not super fatigued by 7 and 8, by rep 7 and 8, that means that you need to go up and weight. So now for the second round, your second set, you're going to go up in weight and it's going to be tougher. And then by the third set, you're going to be awesome. You're going to know exactly the weight to go. You're going to know exactly what fatigues you by that 7th and 8th rep. So again, the last 2 repetitions should be the hardest and they should be difficult. You should not just be pounding it out. If you are, you need to go heavier. And basically it's something that I can even see when I'm working with clients. If they're going really fast, I can tell when something is too easy, and I'm going to tell you to go a little bit heavier. But just know that we need to lift heavy. There's absolutely 0 point in lifting light and not feeling muscle failure and not feeling fatigue. If you're going to do strength training, you need to be all in, okay? Last thing that I want to talk about for strength training today, the last thing that I want to talk about is so many, especially women, are so scared to do weight training. Not only that, but heavy weight training, because they are nervous that they are going to start to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, that they are going to get huge and bulky. And I'm going to tell you something, all right? I have been strength training for 10 years, very heavy. I have yet to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It has not been one of my goals, but I've yet to look like him, okay? And all of my clients who have done strength training with me, there is not one that has bulked up to where they look manly, to where they don't look feminine, to where they don't, look awesome, okay? So keep in mind, if you are going to bulk up, there is so many things that you have to do in addition to strength training, so many different supplements that you have to take, especially as women, because we are not bulky creatures. We are not meant to kind of bulk up, so it takes a lot for us to bulk up. So do not fear going heavy. Do not fear that. It's actually going to be more beneficial for you. What we are doing by going heavy is we are building long, lean muscle. And then not only that, but we are helping for our bones, right? Our bones now are going to feel stronger, right? It's so good for that. We are also working on our balance. So when we strengthen in all different areas, when we do this as a cross-training method, you are helping with your balance. You are helping with your daily life. You are helping with your daily functions, things that you do throughout the day. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be more well-balanced, and you're going to feel amazing, okay? So let me know if you guys have any questions. Please make sure that you post them in the comments. I am extremely passionate about weight training, if you haven't noticed already, especially weight training for women, because we do not do enough of it. Cardio is our thing. That's what we do. So please post questions, anything that you have questions about. I'm more than happy to answer for you. I hope I answered some questions for you today. I hope you took some notes. I hope you understand everything that's going on here. Keep in mind, guys, PS, that I do have a Women on Weights program that is starting October 5th. If you are interested in learning more and having a coach step with you every single step of the way, with me watching you, making sure that your form is awesome, making sure that you are going heavy as you think you can, giving you encouragement, all of those kind of things. If that is something that you're looking for in your home where you can do virtually, you don't have to leave, you don't have to wear a mask, it's a wonderful thing. That is starting October 5th, just so you guys know. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you so much. Let me know if some of these tips helped you. Have a great rest of your day.